How's it going, everyone? Grillfather Johnny Al here, and today's focus is not going to be on cooking, but rather cleaning. Stick around and I'll show you what I mean.
We are live from my backyard where I am smoking these meat like a brisket. I'm making meats now. Someone asked me, do I smoke meat? That's gonna be delicious. Yeah, if I smoke meat, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Welcome back. Now, I don't know about you, but cleaning isn't one of my favorite things to do in life. I guess it's one of those necessary evils. Maybe it depends on what you're cleaning, but I like to take care of my things regardless of what they cost. And it stands to reason that if you take care of your car and stay up on the maintenance of it, that it will last longer and perform like it should. And the same holds true for your pellet smoker. And I submit to you today that if you take care of your smoker or grill, it will take care of you. Let's take a look at what I do to clean and maintain my Pit Boss smoker. The first piece of advice that I want to give you in terms of taking care of your grill and maintaining it is simply this. Read the instruction manual. Look at the owner's manual. There should be a section in there on how to clean and care for the grill. And if you have any questions or your question is not addressed in the owner's manual, call the customer service number or look up a frequently asked question on their website and it may have it answered there. But read this thoroughly and it should tell you everything you need to know about putting the grill together and maintaining and caring for it. Now, one of the most important accessories that you need to have for your grill, if it's exposed to weather in even the slightest bit, is to have a cover. It's absolutely essential. Will go a long way, long way in extending the life of your grill. This particular cover I got on Amazon. It's more of a generic type of cover. I had the Pit Boss covers, two of them. I went through two of them and I finally decided that I'm going to look for something else that holds up better and is less expensive. And this cover, I'll put a link in the description down below. This cover I've had for about 6 months and it's doing pretty well and it's holding up pretty good, and it's about half the price of what you're going to pay for with the Pit Boss. And really the only thing missing is the Pit Boss logo on here. So you have to have a cover. Secondly, you'll notice this little bump right here. I've got a little hack going on to tell you about here in a minute. And the reason that I have the hack, and I just want to explain it while we have the cover on, is that there's a little section here where the cover of the actual grill goes up and leans up against, and a lot of wear and tear on your covers is going to happen in this area here, and eventually it's going to wear through and get a little hole or start to tear. So I'll show you what I mean here in just a moment as I take this off and get a little more in depth into cleaning and caring. So here's the hack. What it is basically a tennis ball. This is a V shape back here. When rain or snow comes down and lays on top of that cover, eventually it's going to wear. So what I did was basically take a tennis ball and a utility knife and cut through it. And you can see that I have the cut right down through the middle. Just take an old tennis ball and it slips right on. I completed a 9.5-hour cook, smoking, chuck roast, or poor man's brisket, if you will. So this needs to be cleaned. One of the first things that you're going to do when you clean your grill is to take care of the grill grates. Get yourself a good grill brush. This is a two-sided grill brush. It has the bristles on the one side and a softer part pad on the other. I use this exclusively for smoking, meaning I don't do hamburgers or steak. They do need to be cleaned every once in a while if you're just doing smoking. And the other thing is that I put the meat on a cooling rack when I cook. So the meat that I'm smoking never even touches these grill grates. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at these grill grates. I'm just going to take my grill brush and go over the surface of it to knock off any of the meat that may have stuck to it, may have gotten burned to it, and run it with both sides of the grill brush. You need to do both sides because there will be food that gets burned onto the back of each of the back sides of the grill grates as well. So I just take them off, and flip them over, and do the back of each as well, and try to knock off anything that is stuck to the back as well, because sometimes it'll just go down the sides and then tend to want to stick in the back. So just give it a good brushing and knock off anything that's on there. Now, in terms of caring for the grates themselves, you'll want to use a product such as Simple Green, which is just a heavy duty cleaner that you spray on, and you can then run your brush over it. Obviously not inside the grill while you're doing this. I take mine out, do them curbside, spray them. And you can also use Dawn Power Wash. Use both of them, actually. They both work pretty well if you put the Simple Green on first and then hit it with the Dawn Power Wash. It gives it a nice 1-2 punch. Then spray it off with a hose, let them dry, and then you can put them back in. But again, the more that you have food that is directly on those grates, the more you're going to have to clean them. And you're going to need to at least scrape and brush these grates every time if you are cooking burgers or something that has a lot of grease. If you're just smoking on it and your food never really touches these actual grates and you're cooking on a cooling rack, not so much. You can do it once in a while and get away with it. But if you're using it on a regular basis and you're putting the food right on there, you really need to take care of those grill grates. Now, the next thing is the actual flame broiler plate. I take that out and set it aside. We'll take a look at what I do with that. I just scrape off anything that's on here. Give it a good bang, and that's it. Knock off the stuff that may be stuck on there. And that's really the only thing I do with this. It is not meant to look brand new. I know people want to put aluminum foil over it to kind of protect it and make it look as new as it was when they bought it. The instruction manual specifically says to not put aluminum foil on. Really, all you need to do is scrape it off a little bit, and that should be fine. Now, the next step that I take in cleaning the grill is to clean the inside. I do this after every cook, and I've done it that way since the day that I bought it. And I know a lot of people are going to say that this is overkill. People may say, well, I've had my pellet grill for 5, 6, 7 years, and I've never vacuumed it out. I've never taken the pellets out. I've never even covered it, and I haven't had any problems with it. That's great. That's not a risk that I'm willing to take with a product that costs a lot of money. And eventually, I think you're really kind of rolling the dice there that something eventually is going to backfire on you, or you're going to have a flame out or something like that. So what I use is a shop vac, and I shop vac the hopper and the entire inside of the grill. So let's take a look at what I do with that. I keep my shop vac in a large hard plastic container with a handle, and you can roll it. I keep it in my shed. This is a shop vac that is exclusively dedicated just for my smoker, not used for anything else. I just keep it in here, and when I'm ready to use it, I roll it out and then put it back in and store it away. So let me get this hooked up and we'll get the vacuuming. When it's time to use the shop vac, I always start with the hopper, and as you can see, all of my pellets have been removed from the hopper. Whatever is left at the end of the cook, I will scoop out and the remnants will come through. I remove the plate here and let those come out, the chute in the back. And then anything that's in the auger box, I let those burn through and basically sacrifice those. I always remove my pellets. I never leave them in there because I use different pellets every smoke. The first place, as I said, is going to be the hopper, and then I will move over here into the actual guts of the smoker. And you can see after 9.5 hours, there's a lot of ash buildup in there. So this is all going to get vacuumed out. The burn pot, the auger system, diffuser plate here, you can see the ash on there. So I want to get rid of all this ash and all this dust because I want my system to be operating as efficiently as possible. I don't want any pellets to be stored in the auger box. Again, it goes back to having that grill covered. I've seen people have their grills completely uncovered. They have pellets in here and it's left out in the elements. If there's any water that gets in, those pellets are going to swell up and it is going to cause a problem for your auger or for the electrical system. As you know, this is all kind of controller driven and electric components. You just don't want to take any chances, and I don't myself. I will go ahead now and actually do a shop vac and show you exactly what I do. That's really it. I'm not worried about the sides in here really so much. I got mostly everything out of the bottom here. Same thing in here. I got the big stuff out and I'm not worried about it being perfect. The main thing that I wanted out of this is to get that burn pot, that fire pot, absolutely clean. And you can see that I put the head of the shop vac into the auger hole here a few seconds, not only on this end, but on this end as well. I wanted to suck out as much of the ash that I possibly could. Again, this is all about just making sure that your system runs as efficiently as possible. I know that this is probably overkill. I'm not saying this is what you have to do. I recommend it. And can you get away without doing it after every single cook? Probably, sure. But again, that ash is going to build up and continue to build up every time that you don't clean it out. So using a shop vac is something that I highly recommend. Now, I just wanted to make a couple of comments about the fire pot, where the ash collects, and clinker. First, in regards to the ash area, some of your new pellet smokers have a removable ash cup or an ash catcher that is underneath the grill itself. Here's a picture of it, and we can unscrew it, dump the ash, and screw it back on. It makes it convenient if you want to do a quick clean of the fire pot. Now, there's a product out there that's called Ash Away. It's a fire pot ash removal product that goes inside the fire pot itself. Here's a picture of it that you can see what it looks like. It has a handle on it that you can just pull up off of the side, and it allows you to pull up the ash. You can get it on Amazon. It's about $20. It supposedly works on the Traeger and Pit Boss and Camp Chef smoker grills, but it's not going to get all of the ash completely out, and it will only take care of the ash that's in the fire pot, not any of the other ash that's in your grill. So those are just a couple of comments on ash management, if you will, in your smoker. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about in this segment is this thing known as clinker. One of the pellets that I use produces a lot of this clinker, and it's the knotty wood pellets. And basically, clinker is a byproduct of burning pellets in a controlled chamber pot like we have here. It's tree bark that has silica in it, and when it's burned, it melts and mixes with the ash and becomes clinker. You can see these are some pieces of clinker from a couple of cooks that I did. You can see that it's hard. It can get pretty large in size. Those are some of the bigger ones that I've accumulated from a couple of different smokes. And what happens is that it gets stuck in the bottom of your fire pot. It overwhelms the igniter, which causes flame outs and can also cause dirty smoke to blow back through the auger box and up into and out of your hopper. And you definitely don't want smoke coming out of your hopper. So the buildup of this clinker is not a good thing in terms of having your smoker run efficiently. I'm basically weaning off of the knotty wood pellets. I don't use them on long cooks anymore. I'll use them on short cooks, such as doing tri-tip or a picanha or Cornish game hen. What I'd like to do now is just a little demonstration of what happens when wood pellets and water or wood pellets and moisture get together. As you can see, I have 6 pellets here. You'll agree that they're all about the same size. I have a dry saucer. I'm going to take a little bit of water, just enough to cover the bottom of the saucer. I'm not going to do any more than that because I don't need to show you what I'm trying to get at. Now, what I'm going to do is take these 3 pellets, place them in the water. And you can see that the pellets, the water is not even covering them. They're barely halfway deep in water. And what you'll see is very, very quickly, you will find out that within about a minute or so, these pellets are going to start to swell or expand, and then they are going to start to disintegrate. Now, keep in mind that pellets are basically compressed sawdust. So we're not dealing with a solid piece of wood like a stick or a chunk or a wood chip. And I want to demonstrate this because I want to go back to the point I was trying to make earlier. I think it's a best practice that when you're done with the cook, remove any unused pellets from the hopper, burn through any pellets that are in that auger, and then get everything out of the firebox and clean it out. Because if you get any kind of moisture, whether it be rain or snow, that somehow gets into that grill, whether it's the hopper, fire pot, or the auger, here's what's going to happen. These pellets are going to start to expand. Like I said, they're already disintegrating, and I'll just swoosh this around here. It'll be more evident. I'm not even touching them, and they're falling apart. And this is only after about a minute or so. If the water was deeper, or if I left it in there longer, they would disintegrate almost completely. And granted, you're not going to have a pool of water in your smoker, but I just wanted to demonstrate that even with just a little tiny bit of water, here's what's going to happen. And this is what you do not want. You want to always be dealing with dry pellets. So again, to make sure that your smoker is running effectively and efficiently, and that you don't encounter any kind of electrical failure or malfunction, I really just want to encourage you to get the pellets out of your smoker after a cook, cover that grill, and by doing all that, you're going to be playing it safe. I'm done vacuuming out the smoker. It's time to put things back together and give it one final cleanup. And I'm going to start with the flame broiler. What I do with the flame broiler is I don't put it back in. I actually put it in a special box here and just store it away towards the back. And the reason for that is, you know, that these flame broilers are not the lightest thing in the world, and they are just a pain to take in and out. So I just put it in this box and set it aside. And then that way I only have to put it in once and take it out once. Next, I want to put the grill grates in. You don't have to put them in, but I just like to put them in to get them out of the way and one less thing to worry about. And I also wanted to mention that maybe every 6 months, you might want to clean out your chimney stack here. Get a little wire brush like this and go in here and clean out the chimney there. Take the rain cap off, get down in there and get underneath the rain cap as well. And because you don't want creosote to be building up in there and potentially causing a grease fire down the road. So it's not a bad idea to just do that every 6 months or so. And also, don't forget about the grease pan underneath here. Make sure that you clean that out or replace it every once in a while. So all that's left really now is to give this a good wipe off. The handle gets a little dirty just from opening and closing it all day. And you have ash that settles on the grill. So I just give it a quick rundown. Nothing major. That's essentially it. So really all that's left is to put the cover on. We'll put the tennis ball on first, right? Then we'll put the cover on. Grill's all covered, ready for any kind of weather. My philosophy as I wrap up here is that if you take care of your grill will take care of you. You know the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you just work at taking care and maintaining and caring for your smoker throughout on a regular basis, then you're going to minimize the possibilities of getting grease fires and having creosote build up and rusting occur as well. I don't look at it as a disposable or consumable item. It's almost, you know, a little bit of a mini investment. So I like to take care of it and make sure I get a whole lot of use and a whole lot of years out of it. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel today. Hope you found this video useful and helpful. Would you do me a favor of hitting the like and subscribe buttons, as well as sharing this video with a family member or friend? Till next time, this is Grill Father Johnny L. Take care, God bless, and smoke on.